What was all this for? Some kind of survival bunker? Why did Tilda bring me here? What is this?
Just a few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the Cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen...
Incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all the...
You said Beta...
They will compare. She's the only one who...
Because you people made her to be nothing but a...
Gerard's idea. They always viewed me with... That's why I created the data channel.
Beta told me you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to...
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the series, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the bound to think of what we... It might have been a... Instead, we studies. It took a cataclysm out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet, or estimated that by the time the collapse, only a few of us made it to the ship in time. we set course left to us.
which you just for anyone else.
Not me. He believes it's better to work around the smudges, more primitive, only pleases. But we will stop him.
How do you know
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
you hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful. But his he gave additional.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, the distribution of override technology and the secret pact with Regala.
But how did he come up with a weapon?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but with it and such a shame.
So you...
Liz was everything. Your ingenuity, you've managed to
I'm not asking.
the honest answer. For all the time that it was...
My old focus.
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas.
Did you show...
Of course not. It's worth note I wouldn't have...
So...
If you like.
Regala's only interest... What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hikaru.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all, that blind spot is what will allow...
While hundreds of died. What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. In this case, a passage that only I can access. When Silent, we will enter through this backfighting. The
Once we're inside...
Here, in the command center. By then guide, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on
A simple matter of recovery, once the others have... With that in hand,
So this chance...
Gerard believed, even after 1,000 years, he still can't... The channel, it offered us a chance to...
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes. Though it pains.
She felt like you took side.
I was afraid the other punish her. But at least I ensured she... I know it seems harsh, but you must believe.
Why did you make...
I built this house as a safe place. Cultural art, truly some of the...
And you wanted Beta to see...
Yes. I thought if it would bring a heritage every bit as valuable. Data being drummed. I'm sorry I had to cut off. She needed its shelter.
So you...
What would you like to know?
Well...
When thousands drowned, my parents included. My guardian, among my peers, I was all because of circumstances.
Oh.
Aren't we? You were an outcast. Neither did I. I climbed my way out first from the technical, profitable expertise in those, but as it turned out, the software I did. From there, it was
You were a spy?
more like I had to protect, but despite...
What happened?
One where it was only later that I realized they only intended to bequeath. By the time I finally figured it out, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the Earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's... I wanted Liz to come. But...
So you didn't...
I knew it wasn't until we were off planet. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony, or fantasy. Could be endlessly... It wasn't life. As the decades passed, I withdrew, alone yet again. Now finally having met...
To do what?
Help you. To fulfill a better future for...
So when you met...
Not aloof. Because regular Liz gave the... She had already achieved... But in her address, An AI-driven system that would actually take responsibility.
To care about life.
Revolutionary stuff. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with it. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so
So how did you finally...
I picked the right moment. Right as she came back to the her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself, colleagues. I asked if I could walk with, then put forth a question about her talk was intelligent. Her answer made me, but she was very welcoming, previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that exactly who I was. My business was trafficking anonymity. So that was lit. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor. I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling. First Varl. Now Hekarro and Litanokth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation.
Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Just to let you know, I'm now patched into your focus network.
Great. I take it the other Zeniths can't hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering. I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regalla's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood. Frost ammo's not gonna do much. Better end this fast. acid will eat right through that metal. Where did you come from? I should show you. Turning into an icicle out here.
When you're wounded, you have to strike back. Draw blood.
Hey! Can't I get one damn minute to mourn my friend?
Regala is going to slaughter my tribe to overthrow Hikaru. The Zeniths have Beta and Gaia. We can't sit around wallowing in our losses.
Kotallo's right. We must fight.
Oh, all right. So what are we gonna do, huh? Take on all of Regala's rebels?
Not to mention the Zeniths. What can we even do? Throw ourselves at their base?
Something like that. So,